representing you. There's no, nothing been promised or anything or otherwise. And then I understand you've got to go somewhere, but I want to run through facts that we have.
Okay.
And see what you.
Best of my knowledge, otherwise I'll get back with you if I don't have an answer, so it's a promise.
Okay, so testing, 1, 2, 3. It is March 23rd, 2016. It's approximately 10:30 a.m. We're in San Mateo. My office building, 1720 South Amplet Boulevard. We're in a conference room, Suite 106. Present is Don Black, Clay Wiens, and myself, Paul Smoot, and everybody knows this is being recorded, and it's going in the middle of the table, and I just want everybody to identify themselves. This is Paul Smoot.
Clay Wiens, Pinbrook Insurance.
And Don Black.
And Clay, I just want to be real clear. You're here voluntarily.
Yes.
And you haven't been promised anything one way or the other for your attendance here.
Correct.
Have you been told anything that you would feel threatened or intimidated, which would be why you would be here?
No.
Okay. And you understand you're here assisting Don Black in answering some questions regarding his policies that arguably, if not directly, relate to a lawsuit filed by Fireman's Fund against Don Black.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm going to leave that on because I'm going to steal a couple pieces of paper.
Oh, here. You want some yellow?
Yellow would be great.
Okay.
I gave you my pad.
I know. You know what? Now that I got something to write on, here,
Okay.
you take the pad. All
Okay.
right.
Okay, terrific. So now I don't have to go back to one of those. Okay. So, what I want to start out with is kind of start in reverse chronology and ask the identity of some not parties, but individuals who play a role in this matter. And when I would say this matter, I'm speaking of the lawsuit the lawsuit that Fireman's Fund brought against Don Black for civil extortion, which they subsequently dismissed, and now there's a cross complaint by Don Black.
What was the effective date on that complaint?
Say-
When was that complaint filed against Don?
The date it was filed against Don, I believe, was February 22nd, 2012.
Okay.
And you were aware that a lawsuit was filed against Don in 2012, right?
I am.
And you're aware that Fireman's Fund dismissed their complaint against Don Black?
Just by talking to Don Black, I didn't see a physical dismissal notice, but Don said it was dismissed, so
Okay.
I'm going to take that to be correct.
All right, and you're aware that the litigation still is continuing?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you questions about the litigation and what happened throughout the course of the litigation. And if at any time you feel the need to stop and actually not answer any more questions for any reason, or you feel like you need counsel, just stop and we will just stop. So I don't want you to feel as though you're compelled to do anything here, because this is, as I understand it, you're here voluntarily.
Correct.
Okay.
And Clay, I'll occasionally will jump in. I'll try not to. You may yell at me and tell me to shut up.
I will.
Which he does it very effectively, actually. But let me tell you, my motivation here is I'm trying to piece together the facts. And the way I'm assisting Paul is I'm assembling a pretty tight factual timeline. We've pretty much worked most everything out. And one of the things that is important is for us to kind of get an understanding from all the people out there what actually happened. You've been my agent for 17 years. And so you've seen this experience occur. And while we had a unique perspective, Paul came in February of 2012. He basically showed up the day there was a bomb dropped on us. So what he's been seeing is just a little piece of the transaction. And quite frankly, when you read the complaint, you saw the ATF show up to basically arrest my daughter, and
I don't remember reading that, but I'm sure.
but it was a pretty frightening situation. He's been actually very good at going, you may actually be some sort of crazed criminal guy, and so it's been so. If I ask sort of an orthogonal question, it's because I'm trying to piece all this together. I'm trying to put a bigger mosaic together. So bear with me if you don't understand what I'm asking, or if I change the subject on you, feel free to kind of redirect me. But anyway, I just want to jump in and say that.
Okay, and my goal is to have me asking the questions. Right. So the first one is with Josephine Darza. Who is Josephine Darza?
She's my employee as an account manager.
And how long has Josephine Darza been working with you?
4 years, 5 years.
And when you say your account manager, you're speaking of yourself individually at Pembroke or with Pembroke?
She's an account manager with Pembroke.
Okay. And are you the
Owner?
The owner of Pembroke?
87%, yes.
And who are the other owners?
Bill Bergstrom.
Okay.
Bergstrom, and he's 10%, and he's the CEO. And then Clifford Wiens, my son.
Oh, okay.
And he is the VP of Risk Management, and he owns 3%.
And does Mr. Bergstrom or your son Clifford Wiens know that you're here?
Son, I did mention to Bill I was coming down the peninsula. Yes, we didn't.
Well,
I go on appointments all the time. So.
Oh, I understand that, but does he understand that you're here talking to us regarding the litigation?
I would assume he knows that. Yes, I didn't.
And why would you assume that?
Well, just he's the CEO. He knows what's going on at Pembroke.
And you've told him about this.
Yeah, on just a cursory basis. Yes, we've got 6,000 clients, so a lot's going on all the time. But he's aware of DBlack, and that there's a dispute between him and Fireman's Fund. You know what I mean? So,
and did you receive a letter from Jeremy Sugarman within the last week or so regarding? It was a letter addressed to me, which Mr. Sugarman said you were copied on.
I got an email.
Okay.
Yes.
But in that email, there should have been an attachment that was
Correct.
a letter to me, and there was an enclosure in the letter that had an ex parte application on it. Do you recall that?
If ex parte would expand on that.
Just an attached document.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay. Did you read the document?
I believe I did. Yeah.
Okay. So in the letter that Mr. Sugarman sent to me, and he was very clear in that letter to say that he was copying you, and Mr. Sugarman indicated that there was a potential that you, Pembroke, Janet Lutz, and Mr. Becerra would be cross-defendants in this litigation. Do you understand that?
Kinda. I saw a reference that we might get sued. I didn't go further than that. If that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. And
okay.
And I want to be really clear that you understand that, and the person that you arguably may be sued by, and that would be you, Pembroke, Lutz, and Becerra, would be DBlack.
Yeah, he'd be the plaintiff, I assume. Yeah.
Or the cross-complainant, since it's a cross-complaint. But you get the idea.
I believe I do. Yes.
Okay, but you're aware that whatever you say today could be used against you.
Well, yeah, I'm concerned about that, and so I'm wondering, should I have a head counsel here?
Well, that's your call. See, I want to be really clear about that. I have never told you I'm representing you in any way, shape, or form, correct? And you have never thought that I was representing you.
No, you don't, Paul.
Right. I just want to be clear,
yeah.
And Dom has never made a representation that I would be representing you.
Oh, never.
And Dom has never said you scratch my back and I'll scratch your back, words to that effect. Is
See,
that right?
I didn't read it close enough. I mean, I get, and Don does too, 300 emails. I saw it, I read it, didn't look like it required a response on my part. And so we printed it. I've got a folder full of Don Black emails like that, and which is fine. And so to be a co-defendant, this is defendant where you are cross-complaining against Fireman's Fund, and we would be added as additional defendants.
With Fireman's Fund.
Correct.
Right.
I perhaps didn't read it that clearly, and maybe I should have.
Okay. Well, so understanding that you're here voluntarily, does that change anything about you wanting to continue to assist Dom?
Well, I want to assist Dom. I'm just thinking that I don't want to get myself and create my own box or whatever. You know what I mean?
I understand that, and so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At the front of this, we have to understand, what the situation is right now.
Right. I did not read it that way, or perhaps I should have, counsel. You know that, I'm just saying, hate to have the guy drive down here, but that's part of life too. And it's not in disrespect to Dom, I'm just thinking out loud, if we are gonna be defendants, goodness, hey, that's not fun, takes a lot of time.
No question, no
question. Money. And some maybe should rethink that.
Well, Clay, let me add something to that.
Okay.
I've depended on you to give me advice about my coverage and my claims. And the reason I invited you down here, and the reason this whole thing was triggered, was that on December the 2nd, an auto theft claim was filed with Ace, now Chubb Insurance. Okay, it's the second auto theft claim that's come through purportedly from my representatives.
It didn't, but that's beside the point.
Well,
but
it did. And
it came from Pembroke?
no, it came from an agent, an authorized agent of the insured. So by deductive reasoning, the first guy came down, I asked Paul, I said, you're an authorized agent of the insured, did you file an insurance claim with Chubb? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, okay, well, great, that takes you off the list. My wife didn't do it, and nobody else that I know did it, and so basically, let me tell you when I called the Chubb people up, and so here's my issue, Clay. So I think Paul's giving you the disclaimer. Let me tell you what my issue, what I'm asking you to do to help me. I have been subjected to a great deal of unpleasantness for the last almost 7 years. And it keeps coming up in the form of entries into my clue file, allegations that I'm making fraudulent claims, and allegations of extortion. And one of the things, I have 3 agenda items. First thing is I really would like to clear my name. And to a large extent, I look over at you and I say, Clay, I'm here because I filed an insurance claim, and I've spent 6 years trying to clear my name for extortion. So as my agent, I want you to help me out, and I want you to help me get to the bottom of what's driving all this. Specifically, we've got 3 claims sitting out there, and my issue is talking about claims business. To be clear, Sugarman and Fireman's Fund have talked to us and asked us why we haven't sued you. Okay, and so they've raised the issue, and in fact, way back when, Lesser raised the issue, and so that's been tossed around for 6 or 7 years.
I don't preclude that a bit.
Okay, so it's not news, and it's not news that Jeremy. I mean, it was sort of a little bit of a slimy move for Jeremy to CC you on a stipulation, because what we were doing was we're amending our cross complaint to address this criminal action. I mean, it's a crime to report an auto theft in California. Someone reported an auto theft on my behalf. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. That's sort of what Paul is going to drill. When he's talking about Josephine, Josephine's been around for a long time. Right? I mean, I remember her way back when. She was,
sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
wasn't she?
I got 30 employees. If you could
But
tell me-
I think she worked for Janet a long time ago. as a admin?
Maybe, but Dom,
It's-
I'm 30 seconds, get an answer when I get back to the office. So.
No. So anyway, right now, I'd like to figure out what happened on December the 2nd. And let me tell you what we know happened on this side. I was sitting there with a check way back when they were doing the examination under oath, way back in 2010.
Okay.
We had submitted our claim. They weren't telling us what the policy was, and Lesser. You remember when Lesser used your conference room for 4 days of examinations under oath?
I remember you being there. I don't remember who the players were. I'll be honest.
Well, it was Fireman's Fund's attorneys, and they were basically doing the examination under oath. And when that was over, he cranked out a check, and the check was from a policy that was written by Penbright. We looked at it and said, he gave us a claims coverage analysis under a different policy, and we were confused. We said, explain this. And we sent the check back to him. Well, serendipitously, we got a call from Allianz later on and said, we want to reissue that check. And we said, sure, give us the check. Somehow Sugarman got in the intervening process and took over the generation of that check. They were reissuing a check to us, and somehow that ended up as a claim within the ACE system. And somehow that claim was passed through a representative. That's one of the things I'm trying to figure out. We got a pretty good idea what happened, but I just wanted to hear what you have figured out from it, because I brought it up to you. What have you figured out in your investigation and research?
And I was just gonna say, if this is a situation where you think you need counsel,
Yeah, I just, shouldn't, hey, we get busy, and now I see what this is. I think perhaps I should, and I think Dom would understand that. I don't want to jeopardize my firm and financial wherewithals by not being properly represented. And probably having a daughter for an attorney, I probably heard that 50 times,
Right.
even in buying real estate. Clay, I better look at it, and I'm going, cripes, Melissa, I can do this in my sleep. But
right?
that being said,
Clay, any insights you can help us on that? Just means it's less money I have to spend
no, I know, Dom,
for depositions
Dom, I want to
but
conclude that.
Well,
so
let's do this. Resolve that. However you want to. We would like to talk with you sooner rather than later. And
totally
we appreciate the fact that you've been working with Dom, on trying to resolve this, even up until today.
No, I want to resolve it. I want to get it behind for Dom and his family's sake. My concern is that if I call and told my daughter, she said, Clay, you're the most stupid father I have. Well, I only had one father. And so I think I'd be derelict. Now, the problem is the learning curve. I'm going to have to hire somebody who's going to have to come in, go through all those papers, so he or she, whoever we hire, is up to sniff to do this. So I can't say it's going to be turned around in 24 hours, but I'll push it, okay?
So let me just tell you what I heard from I talked to Josephine the other day, and she's telling me that Melanie Jarvis sent some emails into the office. And that she reacted to Melanie. You know who Melanie is, right?
I've seen her name frequently. I've never taught, maybe I have, but she's not somebody.
She's the claims adjuster. She's actually the SIU investigator at Allianz right now.
Which was Fireman's Fund.
Right. And I filed a complaint with her with the Bureau of Investigative Services. She's had contact with Jerry Sugarman.
Okay.
Best I can figure out is she sent an email to I guess someone in your organization. And that email got passed on to Chubb. And that email was the source of the claim, and Chubb issued a new claim on an auto theft, and they backdated the loss back to the original.
That was my question. What's the DOL on?
DOL is September of 2007. So
that is the original DOL.
It is the original. It's the original claim. So basically, what it is the original claim. So the original claim number was 458. My understanding, you help me out. My understanding is you can't have multiple policies on a claim number for the same property.
Dom, the only thing I'm thinking out loud, and it's just my thought, because I'm in English, the fact that it's now a different insurance company, would that require them to change the claim number? That's the only thought that goes through my head.
And since Clay has indicated it's smarter for him to get counsel, let's just.
And hear me say, I should go down, I mean, I got nothing to hide. People,
Understood.
we never picked up the phone and called in a claim on Don. My God, fire who anybody did that, so.
Well, but we're not talking about phone, we're talking about an email.
Or even email.
Understood.
Because
So-
the claim, if it's go back to 2.7, it sounds like it's the same claim, I mean.
Right. So,
Well, it's a different claim.
okay, but let's just,
Guys,
you've gotta do what you've gotta do.
yeah, I wouldn't want to prejudice or jeopardize my firm
Right, understood.
for that, and hey, the meter runs, that's the cost of being in business.
Right,
And so, I think I will,
Okay.
do
then
and go back and
When
just
you
try
get
to
counsel, have them talk to me, cause
okay,
since you're gonna get counsel, I really don't wanna communicate with you directly then, okay? I mean, no offense, but
No, no.
that's just the way the
Paul,
game
that's,
is played.
no, I see this all the time in my business, that, so once you do, I gotta.
But I'll
find
still
somebody-
communicate with you directly.
Oh,
'cause
you're fine, Dom, come on. God damn it, call me at home, I don't care.
Okay.
Okay, but I just think now, in light of all this, I should have
Sure.
somebody sitting here, okay? And I'll
Especially
push-
if your daughter's attorney. is
Yeah,
Google.
I don't wanna hear her telling me on
You won't be
Father's
going
Day,
to
you
Easter or
stupid,
anything,
yeah.
right?
I'm
So,
gonna-
so Clay, I'm submitting about another $100,000.
Go to
Passover.
Passover.
Same
Same.
Well,
Yeah.
So let's talk some real insurance business here. I
Okay.
have a 145 claim out, and his bills are in it, including some other bills. I have about $100,000 in invoices that I want to submit through. And the fact of the matter is I would like you to handle that interface with Melanie, because she has argued about whether or not it's part of the covered occurrence. Now, what's odd is it's in the clue file as the same covered occurrence, and she has rendered her own coverage opinion on my policy.
Okay,
And so,
I mean, not okay, but.
but well,
like she did it,
I mean,
right?
she chose to do it, and she
Right.
chose to write that that's what she did, and I chose to file a complaint against her. And at this point, probably the independent broker mechanism that we got to use to process it's the 145 claim. It's the homeowner's claim for duty to defend.
Right.
Okay, I think I sent you a declaration. There's about 400,000 in something along there in legal
The
fees
dollar
and,
amount, right.
and direct expenses. So one of the most important things in that coverage, I need your help on, is we have a $25,000 benefit for a coverage counsel, for a third-party coverage counsel opinion. And she's refusing to honor that provision in the contract. And she's telling me that she's the only one rendering that opinion. So as my agent, you're the guy with the brokerage license. We have to push that back and basically process that claim. The next issue is it is an open claim, and she's recognized it because she wants to pay certain bills from a period of time. So it's not that they've denied the claim; they've made a partial denial. So it's an open claim, and here's the thing: April of 2015, Clay, is when Fireman's Fund transferred a body of policies over to ACE.
Right.
So here's the thing: they transferred that 788 policy to ACE.
Okay.
Okay, I've never been given a notice of termination or non-renewal on 788. In October of 2012, Fireman's Fund admitted that policy had been improperly or illegally or technically as a violation of the law had been terminated. They turned it back on. So here's the thing: I've got a live insurance policy that you guys sold that has been sitting in Fireman's Fund since 2005.
It's
sold a
788.
You
It's
sold a second.
Fireman's Fund homeowner policy.
It's a Fireman's Fund auto policy. It's an ACV auto policy. It was never appraised, and so what they did is they used the default value of the prior policy. They did a rewrite, and they set so it's been sitting out there as a live policy. Meanwhile, Janet wrote another policy in April of 2009 and that's the 235 policy, and they backdated it for a year. There's a year's coverage gap in there, and it's the same VIN number, it's the same price, the same. So at some point in time, there was two policies covering the same vehicle. Now, when we submitted the claim, we submitted a claim through you guys.
Right.
It hit them and said, and they reported it as an auto theft claim.
Somebody called in the claim, we didn't.
No, actually, we called it into you guys on March the 1st. You contacted Victoria Schubert.
2010.
2010. And you filed the initial
We
claim.
may have, you know, I didn't.
Janet did, yeah.
What?
So here.
You know what, maybe we should.
Well, but I'm just trying to get this clear.
I understand, but I think this, I mean, that's just kind of regurgitating facts that everybody's aware of. And I understand that, you know, we've all taken time out of our day and, you know, things change, so we don't really need to go back over the facts that we've discussed ad nauseum.
Right, I'm just trying to get that,
Right.
get those two policies figured out, and
Right.
also who submitted the second claim.
Right, and
Because
that we'll
my
deal
goal
with.
is to go up to the CDI and report in
Sure,
a felony.
absolutely.
That's my goal.
Understood.
Okay, so, I'm not really understanding what you just said, but let's just stop it here and move on.
Okay.
Okay.
And so you're gonna get your counsel,
Counsel, ASAP.
and then we will get going,
Okay, sound like a plan.
okay?
Good.
Okay. Guys,
Thanks, Clay.
thank you.